Liu was experimented on by his parents as a kid and became the future of humanity. However, his family betrayed him several times until they managed to sentence him to afterlife prison row. There, he finds he has some hidden powers and starts his path to get revenge. In this world, part of the human population has been turned into bloodivores, bloodthirsty vampire-like creatures with special powers. The affliction originated as a side effect of the cure for a massive insomnia pandemic. As a result, the Department BST, in charge of keeping humans safe from the new species, created special necklaces called DGPS to track the bloodthirst and location of each bloodivore. Even the slightest change in emotion can decide whether they live or die. Liu is introduced to the media at 5 years old as the proclaimed child of peace and hope for humanity. Born to a human mother, Guqing Shimin, and bloodivore father, Mai Tenju, his existence is intended to connect the two species. While his mother is a scientist, Liu's father is the head of BST and is in charge of neutralizing bloodivore threats. Liu's parents had performed several experiments on him in order to suppress his bloodthirst. But he does not actually need to drink blood since he is a half-breed. This brought Liu so much attention from the media that one day, a bloodivore invaded his school, searching for him. Though the students and staff were told to evacuate, for some reason Liu's teacher told him to stay behind. He gets taken hostage and the bloodivore then demands to talk with Mai Tenju, but Liu's father refuses to negotiate. The bloodivore tells Liu that no one cares about him, revealing that his teacher and friends had left him behind, giving up his location as bait to escape. His father was just as bad, refusing negotiations to protect his son's life and not even showing up to save him. As a result, the bloodivore had no leverage and chose instead to throw Liu off of the building. Years have passed since the incident, and Liu is now 16 years old. He spent the past 11 years in an orphanage, as his mother mysteriously disappeared and he couldn't stand living with his father. Liu approaches everything timidly and has a good relationship with his friends, which is largely due to his natural charisma and leadership skills. But now, he and his friends were falsely accused of murder by his father and were sentenced to death. While waiting in a cell, he is visited by his father. Liu looks at him with disdain, asking if he's here to save the day. But when his father brings up his mother, Liu snaps and they get into a physical confrontation. Tenju injures his arm, burning it and leaving a scar, then leaves him to be taken away while telling his son he won't be able to escape. Liu and his friends, Angie, Winkeo and Chen Fong are transported to the prison, but their van gets blocked off and shot multiple times. After waking up, Liu can't figure out his surroundings, and has no clue how he arrived from the supposed execution. Looking around, he seems to have been put in a type of enclosed cell. Liu then sees a couple of unknown people nearby. The man and woman beside him wake up, so they introduce themselves as Li Shen and Chou Yifan. The doors to their cell open and they soon realize that many other bloodivore death row prisoners are present. Angie enters the room. However, just as Liu is about to call out to her, the real Angie appears behind him. The mysterious woman explains that they were in Aori, a place where the death row prisoners will participate in a survival game. This angers a few people and a man steps up to attack the woman. Chen steps up to protect her because he wants to score points with Angie and tells the other prisoners to back off. This leads to a fight between him and the other inmate, in which Chen gets beaten up badly. Mission failed. Just as the man is about to hit Chen with a fatal blow, his head goes boom. The prisoners scream in shock, but the woman then explains that their DGPS now contains bombs, programmed to explode when they attack other inmates, or when their necklace reaches 0. A monster suddenly appears and slices the woman in half, revealing she is a robot. The monster begins attacking the prisoners, so Liu and Angie begin to flee, but even more creatures appear throughout the room. As they run away, Yifan begs for help and they stop to do so. However, a monster appears in front of them, face to face with Liu, who activates his special power of hemomancy. The monster lunges forward, but in using his ability, Liu flies and takes recoil damage. The monster is quick to follow and attempts to attack Angie, but she's saved by Li. This gives Liu, Angie, and Yifan the perfect opportunity to escape. They escape through the ventilation system and end up in an old office room. After checking out the room in detail, Liu realizes that the building isn't supposed to be completed until 2 years later, yet it looks like it has been in use for ages. It is then that he starts to remember that he has been in that building when he was still a kid. Liu and the two girls continue researching the rooms, and he says that this place is connected to the experiments his parents did on him. when suddenly a monster shows up and attacks them. Liu grabs a metal bar to fight the monster, and though he struggles, it gives Angie and Ifan a chance to escape. While running away, the girls get cut off by another creature. Angie tries to hold it back while Ifan finds a different way to go. Ifan finds an open door and pushes Angie forward, closing the door, trapping Angie outside where the monster can finally eat her. Liu catches up and grabs Angie, moving her out of the way to save her from the creatures before turning the corner. After escaping for a time, he checks on Angie and sees her deep wound. This leaves him overwhelmed, but the monsters are closing in, so he picks her up and tries to run away with everything he has. He checks up on Angie again. He sees that she is in very critical condition. Liu stabs through the creature with a metal bar, and though it tries to continue attacking, it soon disappears into blue specks. Liu frustratedly tries to open a hole in the blockage that is stopping them from going further, all the while reminiscing about how much he values her. He breaks into tears, feeling utterly helpless while watching the person he cares for most suffer. At that moment, a blue glow appears from the scar on his arm. Liu quickly deduces that this might be the work of his father, as he also saw it when his father got emotional during their altercation. He taps on the glowing dot and a supercomputer named Sapphire appears. The Sapphire is something related to Liu's mysterious mother. His father transferred it to him because it will force her to look for him. Liu experiments with it to gather knowledge about the origins of Bloodivore and Aori. He learns that Aori is the place where the cure that created Bloodivores was made, and that it was later used to make experiments on him and other Bloodivores. Most importantly, he uses Sapphire to figure out a way to save Angie with a blood transfusion, cutting himself and making Angie drink his blood. This activates her DGPS and she snaps, awakening the dormant Bloodivore inside of her, and bites his neck to suck even more blood from him, causing them both to soon collapse. And a mysterious figure approaches him. Liu wakes up after having a dream about his mother, touching him just like the mysterious figure did. In that dream, his mother tells him she will protect him until he gets strong enough. He then notices the wall behind them has been destroyed. The outside light is visible and Angie is lying down nearby, so he picks her up and begins moving toward the infirmary. Angie asks why Liu always saves her, and he recalls their first meeting. The moment he saw her, he was reminded of his mother and began sobbing, internally vowing to protect her forever. A dragon-like creature flies by as Angie tells him to let her down. She says that there must be other things that matter more to Liu than her, as he always created a barrier that kept him isolated from others. She tells Liu to leave her behind and chase what he wants. Liu refuses, picking her back up and walking towards the infirmary, while slowly opening up about himself. He was extremely bothered by his mother's sudden disappearance, and how his father didn't even care. This emotionally ruined him and made him want to look for his mother, but he found Angie in the orphanage instead. But Angie keeps getting weaker and the path to the infirmary seems even more unreachable. Trying to quickly reach the infirmary, Liu climbs down a dangerous path and Angie falls off his back. He looks at her desperately, the thought that it was his idea that got them into this mess eating him, and his inner voices start tearing him down. A monster appears and tries to attack Angie, but Liu is caught up and can't get to her in time. At that moment, he blacks out. He wakes up with a strange little blonde girl on top of him, and he sees Chen and Li Shen in the room. Chen punches Liu repeatedly, crying and asking why he couldn't protect Angie. They punch each other back and forth, all while letting out their tears and anger. Soon, they stop and just sit there, crying together. Liu hears the door rattling in the wind and looks outside to find Angie standing there. They reunite, Chen and Liu full of emotion. They say that she wasn't breathing when they found her, but Angie says that she doesn't remember much after she and Liu were attacked by the monster. She also tells them that she met a blonde-haired girl who may have potentially saved her. Li Shen and Chen recognize the girl as Yea, explaining how they found her when searching for Liu in a room with a strange melting phenomenon. Liu suspects that Yea and the room might be the root of the mystery, so he and Chen go out to search for the room. However, they see prisoners with gathered weapons patrolling the area. Angie uses a communication device to speak with Liu to say that they need help because Ye's DGPS count has gone down to 5. Having heard a noise, the prisoners shoot Liu's communication device down and point their guns at them. Liu and Chen tell them that they just want their help and ask to speak to their leader, but use the excuse to run away. While running away, Liu tells Chen that they should capture a monster alive to save Yea, though the plan sounds ridiculous and impossible. They soon intrude upon Winkeo and a group of prisoners fighting with a monster, but they tell him not to kill it. Liu ties the monster down and it reverts to being a bloodivore boy. Liu talks with the people, and they say that the kid had touched a red stone-like object that seems to have given him strange abilities. Liu deduces that touching the red stone activates one's hemomancy abilities and that it probably makes them go berserk at first. Further on, Liu asks for the help of Liu Yao, one of the most powerful bloodivores, to help save Ye since killing monsters helps to keep the DGPS count up. Yao accepts the offer and decides to tell Liu a secret. Leading Liu to the yard behind his room, Yao reveals an array of the same black hole barriers that Liu had seen around before. He tells them that these are there to make sure that the prisoners don't try to escape. Yao also tells Liu to join his team so that they can aim for bigger things, but is refused. Yao shakes his head, saying that a powerful bloodivore who isn't his ally is his enemy, and tries to throw Liu into the black hole. Liu uses his power to fly back, but Yao attacks him. Yao tries again to throw him into the barriers, but Liu uses his speed and hemomancy ability to outspeed him and reverse the momentum. Liu throws a smoke bomb and it explodes, and he takes the opportunity to grab Chen and run. They must hurry so that they can save Ye and stop Li Shen, who had previously absorbed a red crystal and would soon go berserk. On the way back, Liu keeps thinking about the moment that Yao mentioned his father and wonders just what connection the two might have. Liu and Chen arrive just as Shen has started to attack Angie. Shen is too powerful for Liu, so he decides to run and bait him toward a monster that they had encountered earlier. Shen, however, has the ability to generate swords, allowing him to fight with various dangerous weapons. In attacking with such great speed and intense strength, Shen makes it hard for Liu to dodge his attacks. Instead, Liu tells Chen to bring Angie and Ye to the abandoned building where the monster resides. This gives Ye a better shot at killing the creature since it cannot leave the building. Shen, however, is too strong and his power keeps increasing, enabling him to easily fight off the monster. Just as Shen is about to kill the creature, Liu decides to intercept the attack and take it himself. If the monster had died by Shen's hand, Ye wouldn't be able to kill it to gain the DGPS points. He uses his hemomancy to bring Shen to the sky and fight there. Their battle is fast-paced and Liu struggles. Shen has the advantage since he has inhumane reflexes and the ability to generate weapons. Liu's skill helps keep the fight in the air, giving Angie and Chen a chance to escape, but they decide to stay and try to help since Liu is risking his life to save them. As Liu dodges, he notices Angie preparing to throw a grenade, then accordingly baits Shen into taking the blow, which leaves him unconscious. Liu then tells everyone that to save Ye, they need to set up bombs everywhere in the building. He decides to set up the bombs himself and wants them to press the detonation button at 12 o'clock regardless of the situation in hand. Liu goes off to set up the bombs on his own, and efficiently sets up the bombs one by one in each room. In one such room, however, he finds a disturbing body and wonders just what could have happened to it. He questions whether it used to live here and if it was attacked by a monster, but it doesn't have a bloodivore necklace. It is then that Liu discovers a piece of jewelry from his past on the table, remembering Zui, his mother's assistant who gave it to him. He confirms it by opening the lid of the locket, which has Zui's picture on. Liu continues to search the room and finds a journal that recorded the scientific research going on. Apparently, the research wasn't making much progress and it was getting consistently worse as time passed, so they chose to move on to Plan B. Liu uses Sapphire to search for Plan B, and he discovers that Angie was one of the people listed as a subject for their research. He searches up the people behind this research and finds out that BST and his parents were a major part of it. Before he can investigate further, a monster attacks him, but he is able to outwit it into falling down a floor. This gives him a bit of time to set up the remaining explosives, but the monsters come back and begin to attack him. Liu desperately tries to fight when Angie, who is now able to activate her hemomancy, comes in to save him. She buys him some time by trapping the monsters with shadows, but Liu grabs her and escapes since it is too dangerous to stay there. After escaping the building, Ye sets off the bomb, successfully gaining the DGPS points that she needed. This destroys the building and leaves Liu unconscious, but while the others fight the monsters that appear, Ye touches and somehow heals Liu. When he opens his eyes, he sees Zui emerging from the corpse of the dragon. Watch this next video. See you on the next one.